Good morning. It is Tuesday, the 13th of August, and it's PRBites. So once again, I'm going to be reading the newsletter that I send out twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, although there won't be one next week because I'm actually having a few days off again. I'm going to be visiting visiting the Hunter Valley in Australia and enjoying some wine there. But anyway, that's irrelevant. Let me get back to the PR side of things. The focus in today's newsletter is getting on Reddit, niching to beat other major PR agencies when you're pitching, and lessons from the Olympics. Quick update for you first, Comms Question Time. That's it. 9 slots have now been booked for the 3 pilot episodes of Comms Question Time. If you're not on the one of these panels for these pilot shows, don't worry, because if this proves a success, then I definitely want you on, because we need to make up lots of panels to get this show going. There's really 2 objectives to this whole show, if you haven't heard about it before. Firstly, to promote the value of PR and comms in 2024, and secondly, to provide a plug, obviously, for the people taking part in the panel. So if you would like to be involved in that in the future, if this is a success, these pilot shows, then do let me know. The first episode is going to be recorded at the end of this month. And as I say, if it's a success, I will roll it out more. Also got a quick call with Mike Meyer from greenlanecommunication.com, a specialist cannabis PR agency, and I've added a few of my thoughts in this newsletter today, and I will put out the chat that I had with him as well. I suspect probably tomorrow, actually. Okay, to the interesting section. Oh, that's what it's called, the interesting section in the PRBites newsletter. And starting off with Reddit. And if you dismissed Reddit in the past, you might want to take it a bit more seriously, because it has seen a massive increase in traffic since Google's changes last year allowed it to appear in far more organic search results than before. Some people reckoning that it's got about a 3 times increase in organic traffic now. And more brands are moving there and restarting efforts due to its growth as well, and the whole need to try and get involved in conversations now for the new era of marketing. You know, Reddit groups also, if you haven't been there for a while, also seem to be so much less self-promotional. You find people asking quite authentic questions and answering them, whereas on LinkedIn, let's be honest, it can feel a bit like everyone's shouting at times. And that's all of us, isn't it? Let's be honest, I'm just as bad as everyone else, but that's what it can feel like a bit. And I quite like Reddit. Maybe this is due to how the answers are upvoted and downvoted on Reddit as well. I'm certainly spending more time on there with the need to get involved in more conversations. As I say, maybe we all need to be there and talking about it as well with clients and people that you're working with. The other story I found in the interesting section was about the Olympics. Actually, there's 2 angles on this. I found a few interesting articles that summed up the marketing around the Olympics. And first of all, I was curious. I was quite cautious, actually, in my advice before the Olympics on anyone trying to tie themselves into the event. And if you advertise or promote a product like an Olympic sandwich, there's every chance the Olympics lawyers would be going to give you a call. However, there has been a huge amount of, in quotes, I'm doing air quotes here, if you can't see me, associated with it through memes and commentary. In other words, subtle marketing. So I saw multiple brands and personal brands using images, such as that of that Turkish pistol shooter, the chap who didn't wear any specialist equipment and had one hand in his pocket and just seemed to shoot and win a silver medal straight away. In that case, it was all about calmness that the person was putting across in their post. In the case of the Australian breakdancer, did you see that one? I saw one bit of marketing there parodying when companies say they can do their own PR better than an agency and what they get if they try. It is marketing at the end of the day, but these meme commentaries are subtle and focus on humor rather than direct promotion. And so they clearly are a lot safer to be doing. Another article I was reading about the Olympics was about the promotion of the event itself. And it was saying that the focus now is not so much on the athletics, as that's not really the story these days. What is making news and conversation are what it described as the subplots. So, for example, it mentioned the nerdy US gymnast on the pommel horse and the Scandinavian muffin man who loves chocolate. And the point here was it was about finding quirky stories that fit neatly into some sort of label, because it helps to make a more complex story of an athlete into a much simpler narrative. Certainly something there about storytelling, isn't it? About simplifying the message and also playing into stereotypes that people already have so that you don't have to do more exposition or more explanation around the story to try and explain it. You know, the geeky or the nerdy US gymnast, immediately you conjure up that image without having to describe them. Or the Scandinavian muffin man who loves chocolate. Who doesn't? Moving on, so a section on pitching, and a few ideas on actually pitching And a great pitch that I got, first of all, the other day from a potential guest, and I immediately replied to this. And when this happens, I always try to reverse engineer what happened to see what I can learn about pitching as well, and what we can all learn about pitching too. The guest credentials were good. They matched what I like for the podcast. But it wasn't just that. It was the tone that caught my attention. It was incredibly personal. It was like a few details being sent from a friend. I get a lot of stock pitches which begin with something like, I love this particular episode, and then go on to talk about something unrelated, which often shows they never listened to any episode in the first place. But this one simply said they enjoyed my videos. They didn't even try to claim that they followed my podcast or my videos or anything, or any of my particular content. But they just sort of said, I enjoyed my videos on LinkedIn. A bit about themselves, and what they could offer. And then what actually triggered me was to reply straight away was it ended with an apology for making a personal pitch to me, which, I don't know, it triggered me off. It felt so genuine. This might have been a stock message that they sent to everyone. It might have been sent by PR or someone within the organization, but there was just something really personal that made me feel I had to reply to this one. So the takeaway, I think, in fact, I was just talking about this with Mike as well, is that a good pitch is not a press release. It's a short, personal, relevant explanation of a few details that tells a good story. The other pitching story that I saw that I covered in the newsletter today was about pitching to students. And if you want to reach students, particularly college students, then college magazines are still very much alive and well, according to a conversation I was reading the other day. Someone asked if it was frowned upon to reach out to college magazines and offer freebies, and whether this goes down badly with students. And there were various responses from college magazines, but all of them seem to be basically saying, we love freebies, please keep sending them. So if you want to reach the student demographic, then college magazines may still be a great place to do that. The next section of the newsletter, Getting Clients. Mike Meyer was telling me today how he competes for business against major US PR companies and wins, even though he's from an independent firm. The reason is that he's a specialist in his niche. He focuses on cannabis PR. And as I mentioned earlier, this means he can go into a pitch meeting with a very strong foundation because he knows the people in this space and he comes across as being the expert in this space, which he clearly is. I've mentioned before how niching rather than being a general PR agency has helped plenty of people. So if you are finding you're struggling for work, then maybe it is time to start saying you specialize in a particular space. Quick tip from a guest, and this is going to be another one from Mike to finish off today from our chat today. And that is that if you're pitching stories, don't limit yourself to the media influence in the space that you are actually talking about. So, for example, in the cannabis space, he suggested not reaching out necessarily to the cannabis media or influencers, but reaching out to that mum who talks about various topics on her social media account, but happens to mention that she occasionally smokes cannabis to deal with stress or other issues. In other words, look for the people, not just the topic, who are going to be reaching the people you want to reach when you're reaching out to get your content out there. Right, that's it for today. If you know anyone that would like to subscribe to the PRBites newsletter, they can get that at the publicrelationspodcast.com. Just click on the newsletter button. Or, of course, they can always subscribe to the podcast as well and listen to me read it away twice a week too. As I say, I'll try and get the chat with Mike out tomorrow on the podcast feed. You'll see that there. And then I will try and get another PRBites out on Thursday. And then, as I say, it's probably going to be another week off after that. And also, I really need to prepare for comms question time. I'll keep you up to date, though, on the social media feeds. You can find me on LinkedIn quite regularly as well, and you're always welcome to reach out to me there. You can find me simply by searching for the name Richard Midson, which is Midson. Whatever day you are having, however it's going, I hope it's a good one. Hope you're having a successful week, and I'll speak to you real soon. Bye.